right, they just brought the car out. I'm the last person here. Are you guys ready to see the new car on Driveway Demons? Okay guys, I am here at the dealership, just finished signing all the papers, getting everything completed, getting insurance on the car, you know, all that crazy jazz. And I had to do that first because it was pretty close to closing time. So we got it all done. They're getting ready to bring the car out here in a couple of minutes. They are pretty much closed to the public now because it's past their regular business hours, but they're gonna bring my car out as we finally finished it right at the last minute. So they're gonna bring it out here in a couple of minutes, like I said, and as soon as they do, I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I got for the channel and explain to you guys why I went in that direction. All right, they just brought the car out. The dealership is officially closed. I'm the last person here. Let me show you guys the new member of Driveway Demons. I'm walking up to it right now. It's parked right beside me, and then I'll explain to you guys why I did this, you know, give you guys the backstory of what my plan is. All right, so here we go. Are you guys ready to see the new car on Driveway Demons? Punch that like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe and comment below. Give you guys a couple of seconds to guess. What vehicle did you think I got? Go ahead, put it right there in the comments. What vehicle did I get for Driveway Demons? All right, I think you guys have waited long enough. So here we go, guys. New vehicle for Driveway Demons. The brand new car on Driveway Demons. My Smoke Show 2020 Charger. And I got one heck of a deal on this car. I'm gonna explain to you guys exactly what's going on and why I did it. So if you guys are wondering, it is a blacktop package V6. It is a Charger GT all-wheel drive. They didn't detail the car because I asked them not to. I want to do that in my own video and do it on my own. I don't like it when dealerships touch the cars. It's definitely not my thing. Now, if you guys are wondering, why did you get a GT and not a Hellcat? Well, I'm going to explain to you guys the plan and the reason why I did this. I'm going to show you guys the interior. I went with the Alcantara interior. I've already got my stuff in it. Had to get everything out of the dealership. Now, as you guys can see, it comes with the performance pedals, the same as the Hellcat. Alcantara interior, same as the Hellcat and Scat Packs. I got the brushed aluminum dash. This is the only Smoke Show in the entire area. So if you guys are wondering why I went with the V6, there's a reason for it. Let me explain. I'm getting rid of the GT350 as most of my subscribers are Mopar people, and I love Mopar as well. Now, I know that doesn't answer the question of why I went with a V6 and a GT over a Hellcat or a Scat Pack. And the reason being is because I plan on doing a Mopar 10-month plan, one new Mopar every month. All of those are going to be 5.7s or 392s or even Hellcats, Durangos, Jeep Grand Cherokee, Charger and Challenger, even the Magnums. Everything is going to be a V8. Now, since I'm doing this goal, this 10 Mopar 10-month plan to get into a Hellcat Durango or Red Eye Wide Body Charger Hellcat, and we're going to be having one new Mopar every month, I figured I need something reliable to get me around that isn't crazy on gas and replace my other daily driver and is also good in the snow. You might be wondering, what vehicle might that be, considering I have the Duramax? Well, I also have a Prius that is really good on gas. So I figured, why don't I just get a V6 Charger, put some content into that, because I'm gonna be doing a new Charger Scat Pack, Challenger Scat Pack, Durango, Grand Cherokee, all these vehicles that are gonna be RT, Scat Packs, and or Hellcats. Why not do something different? And there's a lot of people out there that have a V6 or a GT that want content as well. And I really wanted to give you guys content on a V6 because I was telling myself, hey, let's think outside the box. We're gonna have all these V8s coming in the next 10 months and then the Hellcat wide body in less than a year. Why not do a V6 in the meantime? There's no sense in owning a Hellcat right now when after my second or third car, 3-4 months down the road, there's gonna be a Hellcat on the channel anyway. And I'm sure, like I said, there's a lot of V6 people that wanna see content on that. So I figured, heck, why not get a V6, do an intake, a tune, maybe some suspension work, don't know yet. Maybe wrap it, tint, who knows? All kinds of goodies coming for the Charger GT. I really wanted to replace the Prius. I wanted something more stylish, a little bit more power, and all-wheel drive while still maintaining good gas mileage because like I said, I've already got the Duramax and there's gonna be a V8 Mopar on the channel every single month. There's gonna be a new one. So might as well give the V6 guys something to watch as well. Another reason why I got the Charger GT is because of Smoke Show. I love this color and they had no other Chargers or Challengers in this color anywhere. Plus I already was flirting with the idea of a V6 and that kind of sold it for me. Not to mention I got a crazy deal because it was a 2020. So when I sell it, I won't lose a dime. And that's really the big picture of why I did this. So you guys can see right here, there is the apps, performance control, and I can go ahead and set up the drive modes and anything like that. Set up sport mode, and of course everything's set to sport, but you can set up default mode just like you would in a Charger Hellcat. This is default. This is sport mode, how I have that set up. There's launch control, you can activate launch control, and then this is pretty much the settings for drive modes. But you guys can see that it has some pretty decent stuff for just, you know, a V6. The GT is the top model of the V6s. Performance pages right here, just like the Hellcat and the Scat Packs as well. Of course, a little bit different, but it still has the basic functions, which is really, really cool. This is showing me how much power it's making, which gear we're in, G-force, and then we can add a widget. We've done this before. Let's go in here and set gauges. We want to do maybe oil pressure or intake temperature for sure. There we go. Perfect. Gauges, timers for your 0 to 60, 60 foot, 1/8 mile, 1/4 mile, 1,000 foot. Like, it has everything here, just like the Hellcats, the Red Eye. You know, this is the exact same pages that I had on my Red Eye and my Hellcat. So it has everything, like literally everything. If you look at the performance control pages, everything is here. You can touch right at the top. It brings you right into your performance control setup. You look at the speedometer here. It's all the basic stuff that you would in a regular Charger. Same thing as a Hellcat. It's got your range and your fuel economy. And then down to the performance. Everything is pretty much the same as a Hellcat here. Obviously it's not as fast, but it does have everything. Now Hellcats do not have the lane departure assist or any of that stuff right here. It's quite a bit different. This aluminum brush trim looks really, really good on the inside. It really does. Guys, there is more to a vehicle than just racing and speed. I mean, I love speed, I love racing, love horsepower, torque, the sound of a V8, but there's a lot of cars out there that sound great in their V6s. In any case, there's a lot of people that want a Charger but don't want a V8, and they definitely don't want a Hellcat. And let's face it, guys, there's a lot of people out there that love the Challenger, Charger, Durango, and Cherokee, and they don't want a Hellcat or a Scat Pack. Heck, they don't want a V8, but they want everything else. The thing is, this is fully loaded. It has everything. The seats are identical to the ones that were in my Red Eye, and they are very comfortable. The car pretty much rides almost identical to a Hellcat or a Scat Pack. It's a little bit softer, which is fine. It's all-wheel drive, so the front end is an inch or so higher, I think. Beyond that, obviously, it's a V6. And 300 horsepower is a far cry from 485, or from 707 or 797. But the car still drives great. It has the same Alpine stereo that my Challenger Red Eye and Charger Hellcat, my other Charger Hellcat had. And the seats are identical. The only real difference is, like I said, the power and the torque from the horsepower transmission. If we really want to get into technicality, it's engine, transmission, drive shaft, axles, rear differential, suspension, Brembo brakes, and steering wheel, and a couple other things. But mainly performance related to stop really fast and go really fast. But everything else in this car is identical in a lot of ways. This car is very quiet, very comfortable, and it's definitely an improvement over my Prius, and this will make a great daily driver throughout the winter, the summer, snow, rain, doesn't matter. So obviously we're not gonna get a lot of power out of this car, but we're gonna do a tune, intake, and then maybe an exhaust, and quite possibly wrap the vehicle as well, something really unique, and then get the tint done, tint out the taillights. Lots of content in the coming months on this car. One thing to mention is that the V6 Charger makes 292 horsepower. The GT with all-wheel drive is 300 horsepower. So it adds 8 extra horsepower. It has launch control, which is also crazy to think about. But I have the engine and trans set to sport, paddle to sport, traction sport. Your traction is what you really need to be on sport in order to get the all-wheel drive bias off. So right now it's running straight rear-wheel drive, and that's going to give us our best, quarter-mile times. And in the summer, with good tires, best 0 to 60. If you got crappy tires, all-season tires, or it's cold outside, or it's snowing or raining, or anything like that, you'll want all-wheel drive for sure. It does get up and go pretty decently. It's about as fast as my truck is, maybe a smidge slower, I don't know. I know my truck ran 14.5. This is probably pretty close to that. So they're probably the same, that's what I would think. Truck has a lot more power, but it's also a lot heavier. I mean, what's heavier than a Charger? Most people's answer would be nothing, but the reality is, the truck is heavier. It's nice to be in a Charger again, and just looking over the hood, it does feel more like a muscle car than the GT350 does. And it's a V8, very quiet and comfortable, and the features here are almost the same as the Hellcat. Everything on the gauge cluster and the screen is identical that you would get to a Hellcat, besides the performance pages, the SRT pages. This car does handle a lot better than I thought it would, based off the fact that I've owned previous Hellcats that had Bilstein suspension and SRT tuning. This not being an SRT, I thought, you're not going to handle very well at all, but it does, especially considering it's a big sedan, over 4,100 pounds. Brakes are still good, and I guess the fact that we're saving all that weight from a Hellcat or a Scat Pack in the nose of the vehicle, it does feel a little more balanced, because even though those cars have more power, all that extra weight is sitting over the front tires, which actually gives you a counterbalance to how a car should, transfer weight and how it should be set up for drag strip. Obviously, you can make up for that. They're super fast. Not saying that, but I do notice the front end being a lot lighter than a Hellcat. It has lane departure, all the assists on, brake assist. Oh, it does get up and go, though. I'll tell you what. But if you guys want to see a full review on this car, like a formal review detailing every feature, talking about everything, doing a 0 to 60 and all that good jazz, let me know and I'll do that. If not, we'll just skip right to the performance mods. But I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for stopping in and watching this video. Be sure to like, comment, share the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. I really just hope I didn't disappoint you guys with the Smoke Show Charger GT. I know it's not a V8, but lots of good content coming. Lots of all Mopar dedicated content. I know you guys are going to love that. Maybe later on down the line, we'll add different brands like a Camaro and another Mustang again. Who knows? But right now, the next 10 months to a year is going to be all Mopar, all day, every day. Thank you so much, guys, for stopping in. Be sure to have a blessed day. Thank you so much for watching again, and I will see all of you guys on the next upload or live stream. And be sure to check out my gaming channel, Joseph Corey, on Twitch and YouTube. But we'll see you guys on the next video or upload. Take care of yourselves and have a blessed day. Peace.